Hello. I hope you had a good Easter or Passover or Ramadan or whatever springtime uh, holidays you were celebrating, or an extra day at the beach. Anyways, we have just finished up this module, and this module was on monopolies. Okay, so what we did in your readings is we took the information that we had previously looked at, which was the cost structure of a business, and we then married that cost structure with the idea that you are a monopoly, okay, that the firm you're running is a monopoly. Now, as a monopolist, you are the industry. So what is the industry price? It's whatever you say it is. Okay. As a monopolist, you can put the price as high as you want. You can put the price as low as you want. And since you are the only firm in the industry, there is no competitive reaction. Okay. The reaction that there is, however, is that of the customers. You can't force the customers to buy your product, even if you're a monopolist. If the price is too high, there's not going to be very many customers who are willing to buy your product. If your price is low, you may find people buying multiple versions of your product, multiple products. Right? So, as a monopolist, you don't have to worry about competition, but you do have to worry about your customers and their collective demand curve. All right. So, when you make a decision as a monopolist what price you are going to charge, remember, what is the demand curve? It is a line that translates price into industry demand, right? So if you lower your price, the quantity demanded by the market is going to increase. As a monopolist, that's a good thing, right? Because you get extra revenue for every additional purchase that you made, right? The bad news is by lowering your price, you are giving up some price for all the customers that you normally would have served at a higher price, right? So as a monopolist, when we think about your marginal revenue, okay, your marginal revenue will increase as quantity increases because of the extra quantity you sell, but it will decrease. Adding another unit is going to lower the overall price that you charge to everyone. Okay, so you are losing some money from all your existing customers, yet you are earning some for your new customers that you brought in because you lowered the price because you wanted to increase the quantity. Right? This gives us, for each quantity, a marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the extra revenue from new customers minus the revenue you lost because you lowered the price from existing customers. Right? Okay, so that is your marginal revenue. Well, where is the profit maximizing point? Remember the blah, 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 a speech of an economist where somewhere you throw in there marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So they will continue to make more products, increase the quantity that they're bringing to the marketplace. In a monopolist setting, you can either choose the quantity or you can choose the price. There is a linear line, demand curve, that translates the two. Right? What quantity will you use? You will use the quantity, increase the quantity until marginal revenue equals marginal cost. You make more money by making one more product, that marginal revenue is more than marginal cost, and you will increase your profits by doing it. Your marginal costs are larger than your marginal revenue from increasing production, you will not increase production and you may actually go the other way. So, in equilibrium, the opportune thing to do where marginal cost equals marginal revenue, right? So that's what we did in this chapter. Okay. Now, the next chapter that we're going to deal with will talk about interactions and playing games, if you will, with uh, other firms that make the same product, a limited number of firms that make the same product, or who make products that are related to yours and possibly competitors. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in the next module. But in this module, there was no playing games with who's in the industry because you were the industry. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this module, this one chapter module. And next week we'll start the next. Again, I will put out, I did not give you any homework assignments for this module. And honestly, I didn't get any complaints. But the exam will be opened up here probably within an hour or so. And we'll give you end of day and we will start and um, uh, do an introduction for the next modules, which talk about basically playing games with your competitors, because that's kind of the interesting, one of the most interesting parts. Okay. There is one additional thing that I want to talk about, and this is not a topic that is covered in our introductory economics class, but it is something that will be covered if you ever choose to take an intermediate economics class, or maybe even decide, hey, I really love economics, I want to go to graduate school and become immersed in this. And that is, we have in this chapter gone under the assumption that whatever price you charge, whatever price the monopolist charges, he's got to make available to everybody. That monopolists cannot make special deals and say, well, at I will charge this amount for men and this amount for women, or this amount for people who live on streets that start with a vowel, and this number for others. In this chapter, we have assumed that there is no price discrimination that is allowed. All right? And that is oftentimes a reasonable assumption. And the reason it's a reasonable assumption is because there is a lot of cases where doing price discrimination, charging different people different prices, can get you into legal problems, right? And even if there weren't legal problems, there are a whole bunch of practical problems, okay? If you charge my daughter a lower price for your good than you charge me, okay, you run into the problem that I might not buy it from you. I might go talk to my daughter, who I know gets a lower price, have her put in the offer, and then she can sell it to me at that price, right? So in that case, price discrimination doesn't work if the people you are giving the good to at the lower price can turn around and sell it to the people you are kind of hoping to get a high price from, right? There are a bunch of illustrations of businesses, okay, that are able to do price discrimination. Uh, Airlines are a good example of that. They have found ways to discriminate against business between business travelers and leisure travelers. Okay, and by doing so, they tend to charge business travelers more because honestly, they have a different elasticity of demand. Right? If you increase the price a little bit, there's not going to be a lot of business people who say, "Okay, I won't go that client." Right? But if you're charging a leisure, uh, a family going to Disney World or going to visit grandma, and you increase the price, very quickly they may make a determination. No, we'll drive, right? So what airlines try to do is discriminate between leisure travelers and business travelers. One of the most innovative ways that they have historically done this is either through advanced purchases. If you are visiting grandma's 90th birthday, chances are you know that grandma's going to turn 90 weeks, if not months, in advance of her actual birthday. And you might be working with your siblings to actually plan the party and so on and so forth, weeks or months before the actual travel. Okay? If you are a business traveler, maybe you are repairing equipment on oil rigs. If something goes wrong, you got to get there immediately. You don't have weeks or months to plan in advance. So what airlines sometimes will do is they'll try to discriminate between types of customers based upon length of time, advance purchase type things. The other favorite thing that they love to do is put in a restriction in their lower prices, okay, for requiring a Saturday night stay. Business travelers who are off on a business trip don't really want to spend an extra Saturday away from their family, right? Traveling is not fun for them. Travelers usually are out on vacation or they're visiting friends and family, and sneaking an extra weekend in, an extra Saturday and Sunday into their trip doesn't bother them in the least. So that's a way that they can discriminate between them. Again, the chapter you just went through, the module you just went through, assumed none of that, that you were required to charge the same price to everyone. Okay, but I wanted to point out that those are issues that are really of great interest, and as an economist, they're really, really interesting to look into. So if you ever take a class in a graduate class in economics, or you decide to go to graduate school, these are the type of topics that we talk about in microeconomics. All right. With that, I wish everybody the best. And again, there was no homework this time around for this module, but there was, I believe, a discussion board. I think I put a discussion board up. Please go there and see if there was one for you. Okay. And we will see you next week, and we will start the next module on playing games in game theory and oligopolies and monopolies. Bye bye.